Well, as a parent, getting kids back in the habit of going to school after a winter break isn't easy sometimes. And there might be some things you can do at home before they head out the door and when they reach for their lunchbox. Tara Coleman is a clinical nutritionist. She joins us this afternoon. Thanks for joining us today.
I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
My kid just went back to school. She's in first grade. She just went back earlier this week. And yeah, I'm making the lunches, I'm packing the snacks, and it's getting back into those healthy habits. So what can we do as parents? What should we be packing in their lunches and for their snacks? It's really going to set them up.
Well, really, I want to make it simple, right? As a parent, like nutrition can feel overwhelming. There can be a lot of information, and I don't think it has to be as complicated as we can sometimes make it. And so today I want to simplify things. And when you're thinking of a balanced snack or a balanced lunch, I really want you to make sure it has two components. The first is whole food carbohydrates. And what do I mean by whole food carbohydrates? These are carbohydrates that you could kind of imagine seeing in nature, right? Fruit, vegetables, whole grains, treetop applesauce, things that are fairly close to its natural form, right? This is important because it's going to break down a little bit slower in their bodies and deliver them that sustained energy throughout the day and allow them to concentrate. So that's half the equation. The other half is protein. Protein is their satiety nutrient, which honestly is just a way of saying it keeps them full, right? So examples could be turkey, string cheese, nuts, yogurt, maybe some peanut butter or edamame. This is going to keep them satisfied. So again, they can focus on school, focus on, running, playing, being with their friends, and honestly, just being the best kid that they can be.
Yeah, and of course the kids like the sugary stuff because we were eating maybe a lot of that over the holiday. They kind of get used to it. But why is it so important to balance that blood sugar with kids' nutrition?
Well, blood sugar is something that we talk a lot about as adults, right? And I think it's because a lot of us are, suffering from things like diabetes or hypertension that are the result of our blood sugar kind of going all over the place. So from the short term, teaching your kids these skills of balancing food groups to keep their blood sugar stable is hopefully preventative for the rest of their life. It's teaching something that they can use forever. Now, in the short term, it quite simply just makes them feel better, right? Think about the last time your blood sugar dropped and you were really hungry. Was it easy to concentrate? Were you maybe a little cranky, maybe a little hard to be around? Well, the same thing happens to our kids as well. And it makes it hard to excel at school, right? It makes it hard to excel in sports or, whatever is important to you. And so long-term being preventative for potentially diseases and things like that, short-term just giving them the tools that they need to thrive.
Yeah, so kids get hangry too, just, like I do. Yeah, you want to make sure that they're feeling full. So for lunches, I feel pretty good. I usually do a sandwich with some fruit and a vegetable. For snacks, I feel like sometimes I get a little bit lost because I do want to send her with something healthy, but also that doesn't necessarily have to be refrigerated or that she doesn't, have to throw away the peel or whatever. Do you have any tips for some good snacks?
Yeah, absolutely. And so here's some examples. You could do something, speaking of durable, you could do this treetop applesauce pouch and a string cheese, right? I like this because it's portable, it's easy, it's kind of fun, especially for your first grader. It's important that, that they actually enjoy what they're eating, so they eat it, so it doesn't come home when you open up their lunchbox and see it once again.
Yep.
But these are going to survive a backpack, right? These are going to survive, rubbing up against cleats in a gym bag. Other examples, this one's not as portable, but would be some yogurt and some fruit. You would have to keep it refrigerated. But cuties and some nuts. It can be really quite as simple as that, or maybe some whole grain bread with some peanut butter on it. And so again, really combining the whole food carbohydrate along with with the protein.
So those are the two, basics. We just keep to the basics. I love how you said simplicity, because I'm not the kind of mom that's, putting things in cute little shapes and doing all the little cutouts, things like that. So really good, solid, straightforward advice. Where can people go if they want to learn a little bit more?
Well, you can learn more at treetop.com. You can find some more videos like this, as well as maybe some fun recipes that you and your family would enjoy.
Maybe we do want to break out of the box a little bit. Tara, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate it.